kind of quickly picked that up, and then any kind of problem with how much screen time I have was totally sort of washed out. I find it very hard to watch myself. I watch it after long periods of time. Very early in my career, I realized that if I keep looking at the monitor, then I want to keep doing takes and I'm wasting everybody's time. And most of my life, I've not felt, thankfully, I've not felt the need of saying that I need to be seen.
Hi Purab, welcome to Telechakkar and congratulations on London Files.
Thank you, Vishakha.
Well, I would think I should firstly begin with the fact that, being a part of such a heavy topic, what was this X factor for you that you actually chose to be a part of this project?
Well, a few factors actually. Starting with Arjun, of course. He's a friend and to be in a project with him is always a pleasure. And then the producers are someone I've worked with before, Jar Films and Mohit, are producers, friends, and we've worked together before in 2020. So it was nice to be called back from them for a project in 2021. Also shooting in London, I'm always looking at work over here, so I don't have to fly all the way to India, so that was easy. One thing I was skeptical about was the size of the part, because it's a small part. It's not a full-fledged sort of central kind of role. But that was quickly sort of, that skeptical feeling was quickly sort of, skepticism was quickly sort of swiped to the side, because once I read the part, it seemed quite interesting, intriguing, and quite attached to the central conflict of the show. So, then it sort of became a no-brainer to say yes and just go and have fun with these guys. You mentioned about the subject being a bit heavy. I think it's not a sort of a film that is a series that is making any sort of political statement. One is expecting that especially with the title, having been matched to a film that is has made quite a strong political statement. But I think London Files is quite an entertaining sort of series, and I think it in the backdrop, it has this bill, this sort of immigration bill that contributes to a lot of the storyline. I don't think the series is really about that. It's sort of...
Well, in that case, Purab, I would say that you just said that, while you were reading the script, you were a little skeptical, thinking, okay, that this is not really a central character. In that regards, does it actually ever bother you when you sign a project that, whether you're getting that amount of screen space, or it doesn't really matter to you, only the fact that the script should be good? That is what is the lookout for you. What is it like?
So I think screen space and central character are two different things totally, or central to the plot, let's say central to the plot. Let's not say central character. I think they're two different things, because you can be standing behind somebody through the whole series like a piece of furniture and have a lot of screen time but not contribute anything to main conflict. And that's so screen time is not something that has interested me ever. I'm more interested in how the character is linked to the central conflict. But more than often, screen time defines that, where you see a character that has a lot of work, and then they of course have to be linked to the central plot in some way or the other. So the skepticism was based on that, on saying that, it's just a small part in terms of screen time, but I need to check if it's really linked to the central plot. And Amar's character is, if you've seen the show, you see that his character moves emotionally quite a lot, and every time he's there, he contributes a lot to the storyline. And even after a certain point, the relationship between him and Om develops to a certain extent, where it goes beyond the central plot into the plot which is about Om. So it's an interesting part. It's got many layers to it. And I kind of quickly picked that up, and then any kind of problem with how much screen time I have was totally sort of washed out.
But then, are you very critical about your work? Because seeing that, how when you had your own plus and minus on why to do this show, are you very critical of your own work, or you're not very critical towards your work? What is it like?
I think I am. I think I very strangely, I don't watch too much of my own work also. I find it very hard to watch myself. I watch it after long periods of time. So if I have something that releases, I probably won't watch it when it releases. I'll watch it after a year or so.
Have you disliked ever your work? I'm sure you might have.
Yeah, all the time. I'm also an actor who never looks at the monitor, when we're filming. I never go back and check a scene and what I've done, unless the director calls me to see something, or we've done a long take and certain continuity has to be matched. Then I go and look. Otherwise, I don't even bother going to look in the frame. If the director's happy, I'm very happy, because I tend to get very critical, and very early in my career, I realized that if I keep looking at the monitor, then I want to keep doing takes and I'm wasting everybody's time. So you have to sort of trust the director and say that, okay, he's got what he wants.
Is your family also very critical of your work? Have they given you any feedback for London Files or any of your projects? Have they liked or disliked any of them?
My father is very critical. He watches everything I've done, and so is my mother. My mother loves me in mostly everything, unless I play a bad guy, like in Out of Love, then she doesn't like me. But she likes me in most things I do. My father can be very critical, sometimes annoyingly critical, where he'll tell me things of how I should have done things, because he's been a producer and director himself, so he sees it from a completely different point of view. And he's worked with some great actors, so he allows me sometimes. My wife and my kids don't watch anything I've done. I mean, I've tried to play them Rock On, and they got really bored in 5 minutes, and they said, no, come on, we want they were Dinosaur Train that day, so they preferred to watch Dinosaur Train than to watch my Rock On one. So they said, no, we don't like it, please turn it off. Whereas my wife does watch lots of things I've done, but she also misses a lot of things. She's a very busy mother. She can't watch too much of me. So quite honestly, I mean, in my family household, I don't quite feel like an actor with
they keep you grounded is what
everybody wants to see what I'm doing. They don't.
I think they keep you just grounded. They don't let you feel like an actor, someone. But then, tell me one thing honestly, Purab, I'm sure, when you do a lot of work, there are times in your career when you end up doing such projects that, you don't really believe in them by your own self, but you end up doing because you have to be there in the industry. You have to keep continuing doing the work. Have you ever come across that phase in your life that you have done a project but not really meant to be a part of it? Like you did not feel that 100% in that project.
Well, I've been around for a long time, Vishakha. So there are different phases that I've gone through as a human being in my career. Of when I started off, of how I chose work, how I did work, and then what I moved into, and then what I am today. So I think now in today's time, and most of my life, thankfully, I've not felt the need of saying that I need to be seen or need to do work because to be seen. There are times in my life where I felt like I need to earn some money. So I've gone and done some work, and I've just solely because I need to earn the money. And I think I have possibly regretted one or two of those projects.
You want to share which one?
But I think, no, of course not. I can't do that. But I have to say that once I've signed on to a project, whether it's for the money or whether it's for any reason, sometimes you just want to work with somebody, and you don't really believe in a script and story or anything, but you just wanted to work with a director, you wanted to work with a producer, and you said, let's just do it for kicks. I've always immersed myself fully in the part, whatever it might be.
In that case, what was that one particular scene while you were shooting there for London Files, जो आपको लगता है personally the fans will really like, a scene that you personally was your favorite?
मेरे ख्याल से अर्जुन और मेरे बीच में 2 सीन्स हैं प्रिजन के अंदर, लॉकअप के अंदर, एंड एक दूसरा both of us sitting across the table, आमने सामने बैठे, और मेरे हिसाब से वो सीन्स बड़े अच्छे आए, और वो सीन 2 सीन है, एक थोड़ा आई थिंक सेकंड या थर्ड एपिसोड में आता है और एक थोड़ा एंड में आता है, एंड you see the graph quite strongly between both those scenes, between both the characters, कि अर्जुन का, ओम का कैरेक्टर कहाँ है और अमर का कैरेक्टर कहाँ है, और दूसरे सीन में जब वो फिर से मिलते हैं कुछ समय के बाद, दोनों कहाँ तक पहुंच गए, और it's both those scenes were quite nice, I think.
But then I need to know one thing out here, because seeing how the fans are like the integral part of an actor's life, because they make or break the career, somewhere they give their feedbacks and somewhere they go a little overboard. How much does their feedback affect your work, or it's just like a feedback to you? What is it like?
I don't know if it affects the work, kind of. I think it sort of, when people say good things about your performance, it's good for your vanity. It gives you a moral boost. It encourages you to do more work. And when people say bad things about your performance, you kind of, or don't say anything. Versus actually, they say bad things and it's an opinion, at least they noticed you. But if they don't say anything and they just miss out saying anything about you, you feel kind of left out. That's a sad feeling. But I don't think it impacts what they say and do. Doesn't impact the way I perform and the roles I choose and things I do, because they're not seeing life through my eyes, and I need to live my life how I feel is correct and right for me. People can have opinions about the way I should perform characters, the roles I should choose, but at the end of the day, I have to make that choice.
But have they ever made you any gesture that they have done for you?
Oh, well, you're talking about fans. Sorry, I was answering more about what critics think. So fans, yes, of course, when they love your performance, it's great and it's the same reaction. But gestures by them, of course, when they write on your social media, when they make drawings of you and post it out there, when they have songs that you've been in, sung out to you, when you see them on roads and they come flying across the street in great joy is great fun. It feels amazing. It feels really good, and I thoroughly enjoy that attention from people that you get. That's why, I mean, it's a part of being an actor, right? You want that attention a little bit.
Perfect. Okay, the last thing that would like to know here is, Purab, that seeing how you've done a handful of different variety of roles, कुछ ऐसा कोई ऐसा genre है जो आपको लगता है कि आपने अभी भी experiment ठीक से नहीं किया है, and you would like to experiment, it will be a little tough, but then you still want to try your hand in that one. Which is that?
I don't know if it'll be tough, but I definitely want to do some romantic comedies. I think there's not too many of them being made, and I would really like to act in one also. I haven't done too much of it myself, and I think I would be good as in a romantic comedy. So I hope some producer and director casts me in something like that.
Opposite to whom do you see yourself in a romantic comedy?
Oh, well, I mean, there's so many actors out there that are great and you would want to work with. So, I mean, I'd leave that to the director to decide.
I'm not that choosy. I just want to do a romantic comedy. That's it.
Good director and a good producer.
And any parting, good director, good cast, and a good story, I would say. But then, in the end, any parting words for the fans? What can they expect out of the remaining months, and also?
Well, I hope they enjoy London Files. We've worked hard towards it, so that's definitely a message I want to put out there. And I'm interested to see what the audience reaction is tomorrow once the show's out. About upcoming work, well, there's a lot, but I can't really talk about it anymore. These days, these contracts are so tight that you can't say anything about what's coming up next. You just have to wait for them to announce it, and then you can start talking about it. So I'll save that for the next interview with you, Vishakha.
Perfect. Thank you so much for joining me here on Telechaga Purab. It was a pleasure. I wish you all the luck, and I will also sit back and see the entire binge watch it, because you've just told me like 2 scenes. You have left me in truth there, so I will surely be watching. Thank you for joining.
Great. Thank you, Vishakha. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Know all about the Tele world by subscribing to Telechakka's YouTube channel. Don't forget to hit the bell icon to stay updated to our new videos.